that's enough to get me across the advertising. It's going to have to do. Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to another one of my fantabulous live streams. I'm just muting the YouTube side of things. So, sorry I was a little late. It's funny, I thought I was going to be wickedly on time because we do not have the kids in the house this week because of whatever semaine de relâche is in English, spring break. However, the tires on our car were complete. Not the tires, the brakes were finished. So I took the car in today and went and got it tonight. And I have been running late ever since. So I'm late, but I'm here. And it looks like so are you guys. Who we got? We got Grace Martin. Somebody's running late. Yes. Yes, I was, Grace. I sure was. Hey, it's hot down here. It's getting hot in here. I'm not going to finish that. I'm all caught in my wire. Sorry. So as I said, we got Grace, which is nice to see. We got Sean in Alaska, also very nice to see. I don't know. Signal is going in and out on me tonight. I don't know. If I sort of disappear, I will be back. But that's neither here nor there. I was going to call the service and get that looked at today, but I ran out of time. Who else do we have? Ian the Weblord, nice to see you. Canadian, hey, Gary. Carol, nice to see you as well. So, as I often say, I spend a lot of my Monday and Tuesday saying if I could just get to my live stream, everything will be fine. And here I am at the live stream. Hi, Stacy. David Evans in the house. Nice to see you. Yeah, Russell noticed that was quite a long pause. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with my internet signal. And I just replaced the router and stuff. So I don't know. I'm going to have to call Tech Savvy and find out what's going on. Tonight's whiskey is a Canadian Shelter Point. There you go. Smoke and Oak. It's a 46%. And I do love that they sell these tiny little bottles because I really wasn't sure if I was going to like that enough to buy a full bottle. And I kind of don't. Well, it's been opening up nicely since I first opened it. Aside from that, I have my water and tea. Tea is a good drink. So, Long's Quest, how is it going? At long last, let's do the weekly housekeeping. If you are watching us, time shifted to tomorrow or next week or whenever, thank you for your eyes. That means a lot to me. I absolutely appreciate you. Also, if at any point tonight you really like what's going on, feel free to hit a smiley thumb. And if you kind of don't like what's going on, that's all right too. Hit the frowny thumb. Also, excuse me, if you would like to support the channel in a slightly more active way, you can check out the join button down below, and that will show you what you get for joining either of my two tiers. Now, Sean, Canadians don't really, sweet tea is not a thing up here. We have sweet tea, but it's just tea with sugar. We don't have like sweet tea. We do iced tea, and I'm not sure just how different that is. I think sweet tea might just be a different version of iced tea. Excuse me. I see Russell heard Sean perfectly. And I don't actually know what we're talking about tonight. Russell was going to suggest something, but also, let me just ignore the camera for a second and bring up stupid COVIDness. This isn't exactly long COVID, but the cough and the fatigue just ain't leaving, which makes me angry. So angry. What am I looking for? There we go. Hold on. We are not talking about David. We are not talking about pee again tonight. I don't know what is with you folks. There's a suggested subject from James Danick, which I was going to put off till next week, but I don't have anything else. So what he thinks we should talk about is how much of your bushcraft kit is homemade versus bought. If you're very sort of crafty, that might be like your axe or your knife. I have axes that are that I put together from old heads, put a handle on. I handled a knife blank for my daughter, but like for some people, maybe their tent pegs are ones that they've made, or maybe you make tent pegs every time you hit the woods or something. So, water time. How many of you guys buy all your stuff versus making as much of it as you can? And it's an interesting question because there's a guy on TikTok whose name escapes me right now, but every one of his videos is like someone's asked him a question. Can you make an obsidian dagger? Yeah, I can. And so he then naps out an obsidian dagger, or he made a stone axe, or a basket for carrying like berries. And every video is like, can you do it? Yeah. And then he goes ahead and makes it. And it's all like using uber traditional. Traditional is not the word I'm looking for. Primitive skills. Like we're talking flint napping, making pine pitch as a glue. Sean says that his is all bought. Oh, I like this comment. Hold on. Wait. First of all, Sean, I drink unsweetened iced tea. I also do, by the way. I don't think Dauber's here yet, but every summer we're sending each other photos of, a huge arse mason jar with water and a bunch of tea bags sitting in the sun, making sun tea. And I put a little tiny bit of sugar in sometimes, but I don't think iced tea needs to be sweetened. Sorry, I was going to say that Grace also drinks hers unsweetened. Mallory says all her stuff is all bought. Sean in Alaska also says that his stuff is all bought. Russell says, I was thinking just today about MCQ Bushcraft's wonderful kit, and that is so true. That guy makes all kinds of stuff. Excuse me. He also makes like ferro rods for sale and stuff. But MCQ, he really brings the skills. And in fact, he's not just a YouTube bushcrafter either, right? Like he works, well, before he moved to Sweden. I don't know what he does there now. He might just be a full-time YouTuber, but when he was still living in the UK, he worked in the woods professionally. And so if any of you guys don't know who MCQ Bushcraft is, it's a channel worth checking out. If any of my mods can throw his link up there, that would be nice. Sean Alaska, all his stuff is bought as well. Sean also likes MCQ. Yeah, very Mark Campbell, all bought as well. Russell can make a stone and flint. Well, just the stone part. I love it. Oh, Sean, you also make sun tea. Nice. Oh, land. Jerry doesn't even put sugar in his hot tea because he's already sweet enough. I don't put sugar in my hot tea either, but I sure as hell ain't sweet. I'm a salty bugger. Sean liked that comment. All right, Mal, maybe we'll see you later. Let me know if you want to actually come on at any point later, but no pressure. Thank you for putting the MCQ channel up, Russell. How many mods do I have on in the house tonight? There's Russell. Am I running mod free? What? It can't be. Actually, there's a bunch of people, bunch of regulars who aren't with us right now. I'm just gonna see if. Here's the thing. The YouTube notification system ain't any better than it used to be, so they might not even know I'm on yet. I just want to get down to the excuse me, because most of my stuff is bought as well. I make stuff every now and again, but I kind of feel not really dilettantish about it, but I make stuff almost to do episodes on rather than, I fundamentally feel like my tent pegs should be wooden stakes that I've, taken from young trees. And it's just, I have some really light tent stakes. So why not use them, Oh, interesting question from Sean. Update on narrative telephone. How has it done so far? I don't know how many of you watched our narrative telephone, but I am going to go and take a look. I know it's done better than most of my videos. Not than most. That's not a. It's done very well, comparatively. It has just over 700 views. 34 comments. I've been trying to keep up with the comments, but they sort of came in fast and hard there for a while. I think I managed to answer everything. So, I mean, it's doing fairly well. Like, my stuff, it usually runs around 200 at, in this amount of time. So I'm calling it a win. Oh, there's Dauber. I was just talking about you earlier. But I don't remember what I was saying. It was nice. I think it was nice. Oh yeah, I was talking about how you and I send each other pictures of sun tea all summer. Iced tea time, big ass jar, bunch of tea bags inside. Because Sean in Alaska was saying that he also makes sun tea. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with MCQ. He moved to Sweden. He sort of did a deep dive on like his Jeep restoration stuff, which I did not find nearly as interesting. But around that time, around 2 years ago, he seemed to be looking for a new direction for his channel. So maybe he's got a different channel or something. Like, otherwise, how's he making money? Right? I mean, I think he still lives in Sweden. Mark says he tried to change an axe handle once. Not good. All it takes is agonizing effort, dude. I know some guys can just boom, 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 and it's done. But no way. I can't. For me, it takes all day. I don't know about all day, but it takes hours. Really? Mike also turned off comments on all his videos. I wonder what's going on there. Never mind. I was going to go somewhere like 80s music-y, but I'm not going to go. You think he's a mechanic? Like, interesting. I thought that he was doing the Jeep sort of more of on a hobby level. Because he wanted it to be something he could go off-road with, for his bushcraftings. Outdoor Dauber, I have a mix of bought and made gear. I've made an anorak, hammocks, ice masks, tent stakes, etc. I plan on making a tarp and some other gear soon. Yeah, I've seen that anorak you made. No? Was it an anorak? Yeah. I've seen some of this stuff you made, and you're pretty damn good at it. You got them skills. I see Sean is going exactly where I was going to go. But I did not go. Didn't go. Okay. But I really wanted to. Good old water. Good old whiskey. So it looks like there's no one in the side chat right now who has made all their stuff. I think Ian the Weblord is just like so disgusted with us. Ugh. Arg. Sean will tear up a billiards table to that tune. Please don't tear the billiards tables. Like earlier today I was trying to think, like, how much self-made gear do I have? And it's not a lot. Like, I've done a bunch of axes now. And I've handled a knife blank. But like I don't have a lot of stuff that I've made like that. There's stuff that I'd like to make. Way back when I was still, making plans, I remember mentioning that I'd like to put together like an old school, like Kephart level kit, a small one though, like with a canvas tarp that I would like waterproof, treat and everything. And I still sort of plan to do that at some point, but I just everything's on hold until the world opens up again. David Evans says, all of my gear is store-bought. I want shares in Mech. Well, I used to have a share in Mech, but they're not a co-op anymore. The beavers made Russell a walking stick. City girl took a beaver stick and dressed it up with feathers, painted it a bit. I would call that handmade. She uses it on hikes. Fair enough. That's a DIY. Well, David, I'm trying to figure that out because you've probably seen my recent video where I built that number 4. I'm not the only one here who built a number 4, but we still used a kit, like a pre-made kit, and just kind of put it together. And so I'm sort of thinking that knife that I handled for my daughter, right? With like I cut out a million little squares of birch bark, and it was definitely on the DIY spectrum, but like I didn't. Excuse me. Wow, I'm already yawning, guys. But I didn't forge the blade, or I didn't make the blade from stock removal, right? I bought a blade blank from Finland, and I built the handle. So I kind of feel that's a halfway, half and half. Yeah, I know. You and I both built the number 4. I was trying not to single you out too much there, but thank you for singling yourself out for me. You built a muzzle loader from a kit. You had to finish it yourself and blew the barrel. I didn't even know you could get kits. But yeah, so is that, it's sort of the same question as with David's and mine's number 4, right? Is that DIY? Handmade? Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially because the knife that I handled for Camille, I know that that's a handmade blade. I mean, the guy's Instagram feed shows his process. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I don't know where the line is. And it's funny because some people draw the line at like a handmade axe way differently than others do, right? Like some people don't consider the Gransfors to be handmade because they have those huge power hammers. And every time I point out that, Liam, what's his name? Hoffman Blacksmithing, that he also uses, a power hammer. For some reason, his stuff is absolutely homemade, handmade. To me, handmade is if you're standing there and it's taking skill for you to be positioning the stuff while the thing is going up and down, it's a handmade axe. if you sit there, you tap a button, and about 6 axe heads get cast. That is not a handmade. But is that the same as like a full on? I'm just using that as an example of how certain people draw the line in different areas, in different places. Canadian is saying, I was thinking about it. Besides axe handles, I did make a leather holster from scrap. Yeah, leather work counts. Absolutely, right? Charles, and watching remotely on the construction site. Oh, yeah. How's that going? Sean says, great pictures. Calling that the Great Wall of Cebu now. I guess I should go take a look at that. Oh, Mark made a slingshot. That's cool. I would like to try. Oh, Russell just stole my thunder. I'd like to try making a traditional sling as well. I think I would want to do it all leather, like the leather sort of patch and then leather thong. The problem is finding a place to practice with that kind of thing, though. In urban Montreal, my backyard isn't really large enough to try pegging squirrels with rocks. Ian is going to build a Jackery clone. Nice. Okay, David Evans put his survival kit together from stuff mostly around the house. So, okay, what's in that kit then? Do you mean like your fire starter is cotton balls dipped in candle wax? Or do you mean like matches and like household stuff in there? Working with leather doesn't look too crazy hard. Now, if I could just process a deer skin with some degree of skill. If I could process a deer skin, I would be happy as well. The only leather work I've done so far is the sheath for Camille's knife. But I definitely enjoyed doing it. I bought a very basic beginner's leather making kit, and I put it together, and I really enjoyed it. Beer can at the park. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's considered too dangerous or not. Oh, you're making a baker tent, Grace? That's cool. I like it. That's some classic. That's old school classic stuff. Nice. Charles says that construction is going well. Fence walls are almost finished. They're digging the foundation for the bungalow addition. Nice. Hey, look who the heck is here. How's it going, Dennis? How was your live tonight? I will actually know how your live went tonight when I'm watching it tomorrow. Salut Simon, comment ça va? Russell says, I like those videos where someone puts together a bug out bag with $20 on a trip to Walmart or the dollar store. I do as well. I keep thinking I'd like to do that. I just don't know if I'm allowed to film in the local dollar store. Holy crap. Bettina's here before 11 o'clock. What is going on, Bettina? Simo is also looking into making a power pack. I actually am have a friend who is supposed to be putting a power pack together for me, based on those Ryobi, those insertable batteries. But that is sort of on hold right now. I knew someone was going to do it. Thanks, Dauber. Nice. No, you got a good group here. Grace says she's using a tarp, not canvas. Oh, I see. Well, the nice thing about using a tarp instead of like actual duck canvas is weight, right? Because the thing about those old school baker tents is they're heavy as hell. It's the kind of thing that it's a two-edged sword, you know, like, I keep sort of going back to how I love that really old school stuff, and yet I don't have the back I used to have, eh? Like, I can't carry what I used to be able to carry. I get a sore back, like, fast. So, like, maybe if I was to make one, I would use, like, a steel nylon tarp or something, you know, as well. I love how Bettina walking in before 5 to 11 is shocking everyone. Ah, Dauber's asking Grace about the tent. He'd like to make another Welland tent. Man, you guys with your sewing machines. I should get another sewing machine. I used to have one. Dennis, how are you feeling tonight? By the way, for those of you who don't know, Dennis was quite ill up until fairly recently, or he was quite ill fairly recently. Is what I was trying to say. Okay, so I thought I had lost the signal again. It is driving me nuts today. Signal in, signal out. Like, what is going on here, fools? I'm just going to do something just in case here. Just in case, Dennis. Just taking a look. Hike with Mike in the house. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Mr. How to make a squirrel skin loincloth might make an interesting video, Jess. Yep. But who am I going to get to model the loincloth? Also, I'm still not living in an area where it's legal to hunt the squirrels. If I could, I'd make you a little loincloth there, Gary. I'm never not going to call you Gary, by the way, because of that hard G thing. Oh, right. Dennis has his voice back. I love it. Then it says, I'm late. Didn't think you were on. I was late too. We had a brake issue with the car and going to get it tonight sort of threw my entire schedule back by a good 20 hours. Just kidding. By a long period. So there's a lot of stuff I didn't get done before coming down here tonight. And even then, I think I was, 8 minutes late? Was I 8 minutes late? 8 whole minutes late. Linda says, I still sound off. Yes, because I am definitely still off. I still have a cough. I still have epic fatigue. And I still have a really fuzzy head. I was telling people that, at work today that I sat down to practice some bass last night because I have some gigs coming up at St. Patrick's Week. And I sat down here and immediately fell asleep until midnight. Boom. I sat down, boom, woke up at midnight. So, okay. So I just went to bed. So I did a little bit of practice at lunchtime today, and I'll probably do a little bit either after we're done here tonight or again at lunchtime tomorrow, and then after work. Excuse me. Sean says that Russell will model the loincloth. This is getting awkward. No sewing required, just snaps. Okay. I'd like to see pictures or something of this thing in process, Grace, so I can see. Like, I'm trying to visualize it. I'm having a bit of a hard time. Sounds to me like the missus is back from work upstairs. You guys are a couple of funny dudes. Yeah, pull out the bass and practice now. No. Grace says, my Baker tent can also be converted to a super shelter with snap-on emergency blanket and clear shower curtain. Interesting. I keep looking at at the plans for the super shelter and everything, and I get it. I understand it. But I don't think I would make it. Like, I don't want to pack Myler along along for the ride, you know? Just, whoops. Just let me check something. You'd love to see a bass practice live stream. You know what's funny about that? What the hell's his name? Plays bass for like Bela Fleck. Um, he's got a yin yang bass. How could I forget this guy's name? I love this guy. Uh, what the heck's his name? I gotta find this guy's name because I need to. Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. Who's he got on bass? Ah, come on, fools. Guys, this is gonna bug me if I don't remember his name. Associated acts. Bela Fleck and the Flecktone. Victor Wooten. Okay, Victor and Roy Wooten were both in Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. Victor is the bass player. Roy is a guitar player. The Wooten family is highly musical. But I was watching. He he put out this sort of learn this bass philosophy DVD, kind of like learning some skills, but also his thoughts on the bass and everything. I'm not gonna do too big a deep dive on this because this is not a bass playing channel. But he said that he got a long standing or a repeat gig doing like dinner music at a restaurant solo, right, as bass. And he said that the beauty of that is he was just like practicing arpeggios and stuff, and it sounded like really just atmospheric music. Obviously, because he brings a musician's sensibility to it. But like he would just be in the background, and it worked. It was because the thing is, dinner music is not something that the diners sit there and watch, right? It's background noise, but it just happens to be live. So I could just be sitting here, making noise, making the noise. I'm just taking a look for. I'm seeing if I've fallen too far behind. I'm okay. Then it says that Dennis had a good show. That's good because I'm going to be watching it tomorrow. Yeah, Dauber's got a DIY Polk. I think I remember that. You made it out of a kid's sled, didn't you? And did you use like rigid tubes to go like on the strap to you? Or is that someone else? Because I know that someone had put rigid tubing, put the rope through rigid tubing so that I think if they were doing a decline instead of an incline, it wouldn't like there was some rigidity there so that it wouldn't come and sort of take your feet out from under you. How the hell did I? It's weird. It just muted. Bizarre. Dauber's got 4 sewing machines. You're going to be selling the antique Singer treadle machine. Nice. The cozy corner cabin in the house. How's it going? It's fairly good here. I think we got a good bunch hanging out with us. I'm being fabulous. Would be awesome to see Jess Jen. Well, if you guys can be in downtown Montreal on the 17th, 18th, 19th, or 20th of March, then you will get to see us at Hurley's Irish Pub on Crescent Street. Rockin' and reeling. Linda's gone off to turn off the Jenny. Excuse me. Everything is just sort of shifted. So now I don't know where I was. Actually, yeah, what's Russell's saying here, a lot of music is just scales and arpeggios and major and minor keys. That's pretty much all music is. It's all just scales with different note lengths. Look who's here. Shizzle. It's Tuesday. You know, since he went and finally showed up, I'm distributing. What the hell happened here? In the just in case side of things. There we go. My phone is giving me Facebook notifications, which I will ignore until we're done here. Nice walk in the woods. I love it. I wish I'd had a nice walk in the woods today. I thought I had something on deaf, except all I could use my I don't know. It just went boop, mute. And like my cursor was nowhere near the mute. So I don't know what happened there. I just don't know. Bettina, Russell tends to come on after 10. Yeah, he figures that he doesn't want to overpower my live streaming for at least the first hour. Yes, kids snow sled with 3/4-inch PVC pipes crossed and bolted to prevent downhill runovers. Exactly. So you are the one who did that. Yeah, because I remember thinking that was a great idea. Yes, I was muted. Sorry. Power cords. Russell's being a brat. Yeah, Facebook is still around. I spend very little time on Facebook now. I don't have the energy for the recreationally outraged. But it's useful for getting people to my band's information and stuff. And I have a page specifically for Raindance Bushcraft as well. Oh, Bettina might go out for. There we go. I usually let Jess flounder for a while before I come in and save him, says Russell. Bettina is going out for a hot tub shortly. Fair enough. It was a beautiful night here. It was -7, -8, light snow coming down. Absolutely loved it. Honeybee has deleted his Facebook. If they were important, they'd have my number. I would love to delete my Facebook as well, but there's just so many things that I use it for that. But like I don't spend a lot of time on there because of what I said before. Oh, which Stacy liked. It's so accurate. Hey, look who's here. How's it going, Cliff? Everything jumped again. Oh yeah, I like what Hike with Mike said. Whoops, where did it go? It jumped again. My kids call Facebook the grandma site. Absolutely. It's definitely got an issue, a demographic issue. Right. Okay, good to know. Simo, I was thinking about you for some reason. There was something I was gonna bring up, and I don't remember what it was. So Forget I said that. Dennis knows all about it. Man, Dennis, your chat must be crazy, though. Must be absolutely nuts. Mark Campbell, did I say hi or did you just show up? No. Did I forget to say hi or did you just show up? Jess, come on, man. Phyllis says, would be better if I learned to wear a mask or something when I'm digging in the garden. Yeah, me too. But I don't dig in the garden nearly as often as you do because I live in Montreal, so the growing season's a hell of a lot shorter than where you live. I do a lot more snow shoveling than you. I just did some more tonight, in fact. Okay, but we're sort of off the subject that I started talking about. And like, in fact, I sent Honeybee an invite because I know that he's got a lot of DIY stuff in his kit. Yeah, Dennis, I've definitely noticed that your chat it moves really sort of hard and fast. One of the other channels I watch, Aquavite, it's a whiskey, it's a Scotch channel, but he sometimes does other whiskeys as well. And it runs so fast that if I want to make absolutely sure that he gets, that he sees one of my comments, I do a super chat, like a small amount super chat, because it's going so fast that he doesn't get to all of it, even if you tag him, Yeah, your growing season's already about to begin there. Amazing. Love it. Yeah, Honeybee, tonight's subject is how much of your outdoors gear did you make yourself rather than buy? How much of it is DIY? And it's interesting because like as bushcrafters and preppers and stuffs, like a lot of the people who are even in a peripheral sense in these areas like bushcraft, preppers, survivalists, homesteader to a certain extent as well. There's a heavy sort of self-reliance angle, and yet here I am where almost all my stuff is store-bought. What? But yeah, almost all of it is store-bought. I even have this like heavy-assed wrought iron or cast iron tripod with like a hook to put pots on. And meanwhile, I saw in a relatively recent Men with the Pot, guys with the pot, the guys with their own knife there. They do this amazing thing where they take a big honking stick or branch, spike it, like make it a huge tent peg essentially, cut a slice halfway through, okay, like about halfway through the branch, bang that in above next to their fire, and just stick the handle of their cast iron pot so it hangs out over the fire. I'm like, oh, I wish I thought of that before spending $70 on my cast iron thing. Yo, mans. Yo, man. Yo, man.
Yo, man.
Yo,
Oh,
man.
shit.
Russell just said a bad word.
Ban him. Ban Hammer.
It's because he forgot his cans.
If you say it with enough vowels, is it really swearing though? Like if I say "oh shit," is it really even the same word?
I feel that I need to give you a win on that one, because I have done the same. You know, okay, so this is a French swear word, so YouTube isn't going to ding me on it, but there's a word here in Quebec. It's the worst of the worst. It's tabarnak. Okay. So that is in Quebecois. Imagine the F word, but bigger. And my Scottish grandmother would not allow my grandfather to say that word in her house. And so what he said instead was he just chopped off the arse part of the second half. So he just used to say tabber all the time, and she'd be like, he's like, "Hey, I'm not saying the word." He's just like riding the line, and meanwhile, all his grandkids are saying tabber all the time. My mom and her siblings are like, "Dad."
I had a great granddad who had a similar habit, I guess. Except my great grandmother Lucille would never let him say shit ever.
Okay.
So he would say "sht." He would cut out the I.
I can hear the asterisk halfway through the word.
Right?
Yeah.
He was fully blooded Puerto Rican, moved
Okay.
to the States, lived in New York forever, served in the Army, then ended up in Michigan.
Right.
And
Okay.
so him saying "sht" with his like angry Islander New Yorker, got the
Yeah.
hell beat out of him in Korea accent was like it's really
Right.
good.
Okay. I just want to catch up with the side chat a little bit. Simon will be ready to plant in a few weeks. I also have a bunch of snow in my backyard, Simon. Linda says she buys all of her gear. Outdoor Dauber is reminding me of how many times I've yawned tonight. Stacy buys all her stuff. Man, but you live in the Yukon. It must be expensive to buy all your stuff. If I lived in the Yukon, I'd build everything out of snow. That's a terrible thing to say, Jesse. Knifed with Mike says, most of my stuff is store-bought. But when I'm out camping, I use the solid palmetto plant. And see, yeah, you've got all those plants that, excuse me, that you can use for all kinds of stuff that I just don't have. Like what we have around here is like cedars and firs and spruce and blah, blah, blah. But we don't have those big sort of palmy things.
It's kind of like people that have access to bamboo trees. You can do so much with bamboo.
That's cheating. Bamboo is literally cheating.
I know, right? I've looked for videos on how to build something, and so here's a video. Great, I'll start watching it, and it's like, okay, first we need all this bamboo. I'm like, oh, damn it.
No.
What a bunch of bull.
Yeah.
But they build something magnificent, and it's awesome, and it never breaks.
Yeah.
Otto. Let's see.
Stacy, sorry, I'll let you catch up.
I don't know if I'm gonna catch up. I feel like I'm really far behind. Okay, but I'm up listening to everybody in my mom's family saying, okay, so you understand it. You got me addicted to those silly TikToks. Oh man, I did a TikTok today that seems to have caused a lot of consternation. But bows,
Yeah,
anyone make their own? Okay,
Yep.
That's an interesting question, and I kind of feel that Honeybee here is going to have something to say about that.
So do you want to talk about wood ones or PVC ones?
start with what you started with, which is obviously wood, right?
Yeah, that's what.
I was guessing.
What was my first wooden bow? I think it was made out of maple, of all things. I think it was made out of soft maple.
Okay.
It was just what I had.
Right.
Well, sorry, hold on. Like Stacy asked earlier about bows, but she's also talking about hunting with bows. And I think, so how long are you between the very first time you sit down and make a bow and when you can actually hunt with a homemade bow? Like, is there...
that gap in skill is incredible for me.
Assuming that you go at it like casually, you're not going at it like, I'm working on this bow every day for the next 2 months kind of thing.
I don't think I ever hunted with the first one I made. I hunted with that one, but that's an old Fred Bear.
But how many have you made?
Bows?
Yeah.
Not many. 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Like, do they have to? Is there like seasoning or anything that has to happen to them before you can hunt with them?
Absolutely.
Excuse
So
me.
before you even split the staves for a bow, you need to let the limb from which you split the staves, not really a limb, but the piece of wood from which you split your staves, you need to let that season. Then after you split the staves, you need to let those season because they'll check, and your bow will just it'll explode on you.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I did? Sorry, I know you got more to say, but you know what I did is I wanted to make a bow, and I didn't want to like try and find a limb and season it because this is back when I lived in the city and I didn't have access to properties like this. I went and bought a 2x4, but not like a Home Depot 2x4. I went to one of those fine woodworking places that sell 2x4s and hemlock and various things. I bought one of those because it's already seasoned. It's already kind of a nice shape, and you just have to start carving away at it.
You can make a bow out of flat sawn osage pretty easy. That wouldn't be very hard.
Actually, it would be very hard.
Well, and Stacy's access to different types of wood is really limited where she is too. Like, what have you got up there, Stacy?
I was gonna say getting osage around where I live is gonna be expensive.
Osage grows here. I mean, I'm in Michigan. I have access to like mixed hardwoods from the eastern woodlands and every pine tree I could ever dream of. I'm also cheating. I just don't have bamboo.
Right. I feel that Osage has a different name up here, though. Just let me check that.
Was it your Discord or mine?
Yours. I don't have a Discord yet.
It wasn't mine.
Really?
I guess I'm just hearing things.
Yeah, I thought that Osage Orange had a different name up here and grew in like Manitoba or something, but I think I'm wrong.
Yeah, if Bettina says.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to send some invites, or do you want me to do it? Okay, but like, so, Honeybee, walk us through building somebody's first wooden bow.
Cool. That's a fun one. So you need a piece of you don't have to have a piece of straight grained wood. I would never use anything but straight grained wood because I'm a wuss when it comes to woodworking. You need to get something round and very, very straight grained and not terribly prone to checking, which is why, in my opinion, soft maple was a terrible choice for a first bow.
Fair.
Soft maple does not have a lot of strong lignin between the different layers of it, so it actually checks really badly. But it was my first time. I was 12, whatever.
Holy crap.
Yeah. See,
I was 30.
I didn't know very much. I was 12. Leave me alone.
I'm saying I was 30 and I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, crap, I wish at 12 I tried stuff like that.
Yeah, me too. Well, at 12, I was still reading books.
Me too, but I was reading the kind of books that you guys like Snow Dog and all of Gene Craighead's books and all that good stuff. But so you get your big long piece of straight grain wood. I don't remember the percentages. I had them written down at some point, but you need to leave a lot of room on the end because checks do go a long way.
Now, I just want to ask a question. You said straight grained wood. Is that because it's easier to work with, or is that because of strength in the bow itself?
Kind of both.
Okay.
So the reason I say straight grained is when you're they call it chasing a ring. I'll kind of get to that later. But straight grained wood really, really, really helps with that. So you're a big piece of wood. You let that season. I let it season for like a year and a half, but that's because there's huge humidity swings in Michigan. So it takes a really long time, season by season, to actually dry. Then you split it. Some people can do thirds. I am a neophyte and a peasant and cannot do thirds while splitting, so I just go right down the middle.
Okay.
You let that season for a while, and then here's what chasing rings is. I have index cards because I came prepared. I always need to draw something.
Wait. So the best time to start making a bow is a year and a half ago. The second best time to start making a bow is right now.
Winter. If you're gonna go cut staves, probably winter, because there's less sap in the wood. There'll be less moisture in it, just like cutting cabin wood.
Excuse me.
Literally right now before the sap starts running.
Yes, specifically before the sap starts running. But I will say that will make your tailoring process a lot longer because the less sap in the wood, and the more gentle you have to be with the tailoring process on the limbs.
Right. Okay.
Anyway.
But you said you go right down the middle. Are you worried about the pith though in that case, or are you just going to shave it out anyway? Right?
I'll shave it out anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the species, but yeah. So here's your split, right?
Yeah.
All right. So when you chase a ring, what you're doing is you're taking your drawn. I'm gonna draw some dotted lines here.
I need a flip chart.
Yeah. I know. We'll get there. I need a different color. I came prepared again.
Good man. We need one of those, what are those things called that they used to have in classrooms and business, where it's like a special, not a tripod, but easel with a huge pad of paper that you just flip.
Yeah.
That's a flip chart? Is that what a flip chart is?
Yeah.
So you see the cross section of the belly and the face of the bow there?
Yeah.
How it lines up with a wood ring?
Yeah.
That is what we mean by chasing rings. So with your draw knife, you're literally looking at the layers and color changes of the wood.
Okay.
And in a perfectly ideal world, you would chase one ring from one end of the bow all the way to the other end of the bow.
Okay.
Obviously, with the shapes of some bows and designs like that, just isn't realistic. But that is
because you're trying to avoid run out, right? Which is the same thing as making a non-strong axe haft, right? You don't want a bunch of run out.
Yeah, because lignin bonds are strong, but between rings they can get weak.
Yeah.
Privet. I have not heard of privet. Oh, Cozy Corner Cabin asked a question. If you make your own bowstring, what would be the best material to use for that? Natural material, sinew, although most of us don't process that. I tried it once. I am terrible at it. What I use is B50 Dacron. B50 Dacron is very, very good at staying at a static length under load, which is why we use it.
Yeah, because you don't want something that's going to stretch, right? The stretch happens in the bow, not the... Okay.
Your childhood bows made of rubber bands and sticks are terrible. That's why.
Yeah.
We're right. So we've split our thing. We've let this season for a year each. So a year before the split, a year after the split. That's what I did. Year and a half before the split, if it's a big piece, like I said. You debark, obviously. It helps drying just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Then you chase that ring all the way down. Now, I tend to. There's a lot of people who argue about it. You can put sapwood and heartwood at halfway between the bow. I know in some traditional English bows that used to be a thing. I am super bad at keeping a bow stave like evenly between sapwood and heartwood and chasing a ring on top of the bow. So I just go straight sapwood if I can. I don't remember the actual physical reasoning of it. I think it's just because sapwood is a little springier. It's less dense because as the tree grows around the heartwood, it does get somewhat compressed through the seasonal changes.
Yeah.
Then knocking. There are ways you can do knocking on bows. There are like horn inserts on a ton of bows. The easy way to do it though is just to take a drill and drill a couple of holes. We're gonna draw again. Look at that.
Fair enough.
Let's draw.
Hi, Sharon.
We're getting pretty far in depth on how to make a bow. I'm not sure that. I mean, we could spend the rest of your live stream talking about this.
We really could. You've gotten me started. We can stop if you want.
And not that I'm disparaging what you're saying. I actually enjoy what you're saying because as I said, I made my own first bow. love the topic, but I don't know if the
Just
20
more to
people-
learn.
Yeah, we won't go too deep into it. But
That's an easy way to cut knocks. You just drill some holes and then
yeah, I see it. Yeah.
just right into them.
So, year and a half before and a year after, and then you're ready to take it out hunting.
And then you tiller the limbs, which is just getting them ready to stretch. You don't want to pull a bow all the way back as soon as you've done carving it to break it.
I got one more question, because if any of us go out tomorrow, to find staves to start putting away for the next year, we're pretty much looking for nice straight staves with few knots, kind of thing.
Yep.
About 7
which
feet
is
long, 6 feet long.
7 feet's probably good, especially for like a self bow. If you want a long bow, like go for like 10, obviously. But
Oh wow.
Did any of you guys used to watch Scouting Free?
what is scouting free? It sounds good.
He's sort of a prepper, or prepper channel. I think he would see himself more as, he liked to defy categorization. But I haven't seen him put any videos out in a long time. But he took an English longbow making course, and he made himself a bow, which looked really, really cool.
That is a wonderful egg roll.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So, like, you've made a few bows. I know you've made mucklucks. Was it mucklucks you've made? You've made something. You've done a lot of leather stuff.
Moccasins. I have not yet made mucklucks, actually. I want to.
And like, are you the type to carve your own tent pegs when you're out in the woods, or do you bring?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, because that's the kind of thing that I'm wondering about. Like, there's a lot of people in the side chat here who just buy all their stuff, and I buy most of my stuff too. And you'd think that tent pegs are a no-brainer. You just make your own damn tent pegs. And yet I have aluminum tent pegs that I just bring with me because they weigh nothing. And it's one less thing to do when I'm just trying to get everything up so I can get a fire on and make a cup of tea. Because tea is a good drink.
Tea is a good drink. I'm out of tea.
You hear that, Russell?
Yeah, but when I bring out my keg and tap that sucker, you'll be like, "Oh, all I'm drinking is this colored water."
No. I didn't say that your bubbly colored water isn't also a good drink. I'm just saying that tea is the goodest of good drinks.
I wonder, I'm thinking about your tent peg question, and when I think I've never made my own tent pegs. I've always just carried them. But when I'm picturing myself out in the woods, probably in an area I'm not familiar with, and I don't know what trees are kind of around me, kind of thing. And I lay out my tent and I start looking around, going, okay, I got to make some tent pegs, like 6 or 8 of them, or I don't know how many. I wonder how much of that is just a mental thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like the experienced woodsman who went out into the bush, got lost. He doesn't have anything with him, and at some point he's got to make a fire, make a shelter, but he just kind of lies down and dies because the whole mental barrier is there, where I got to do something. I got to kind of create something out of nothing. I got to,
Well, that's what Les Stroud was talking about. He did an entire book on this, I believe, about how, if you are motivated to survive the situation, you will most likely survive the situation somehow. But if your brain shuts off and if you give up and you lie down and die, you will not survive the situation. And so, Russell, I believe that what you're saying sort of touches on that exactly. Like, it's not hard to make tent pegs, but if you are in a, how I've said before that survival is not fun. It's camping by accident, right? It's not hard to make 8 tent pegs, but if you're like stressed because I don't know where I am, you might not even think to do that, right? Because a lot of people, they kind of freeze up when they realize they're lost, or when they realize that when the shift hits the fan, a lot of people just freeze. And if you've frozen, a lot of really, really easy stuff becomes almost insurmountably hard. That's why they keep saying, look, as soon as you notice you're lost, sit down, drink some water, it'll reseat your head a little bit, you know? I kind of went a little further down that path than I was planning to, actually.
I'll get you back. So yeah, having a mental thing. So like the big difference between the guy who goes out and lays down and dies because just the mental load is too much, and bushcrafter who makes tent pegs is we intend on the experience.
Yes.
I mean, that really is what it is. Adam Savage has a really good quote about wanting an authentic experience, and oftentimes, if there's an image in his head, nothing less than getting to the image is really all that satisfying. I think in the case of making tent pegs and, you know, putting up a reflector wall or what have you, is kind of just a function of that. You know, we have this image in our head, and we intend to go have this, you know, really authentic in our minds woods experience, and that's part of it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense too. It's funny that we're having this question about, like, you know, do you DIY your camping stuff? And Russell there DIY'd his freaking cabin. By the way.
Well, Jess, it's not like I arrived out here in the bush and I said, okay, I gotta like process all these trees into pine tongue and groove.
Brings, you know, turn some withies
into those yourself with a rabbit plane.
But I tell you what, you know, in fact, it's worse looking back than it is looking forward. When I got here the first time and I had my bags of concrete because I wanted to start with the piers for the foundation.
Right.
I mean, I had no idea what I was getting into, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that ignorance is a good thing. Like if you're in a survival situation and think, oh, okay, I got to make a fire, but not heaped on top of your head was shelter, water, you know, ding, 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 ding. You just kind of ignorantly said, okay, I guess I start with this. I don't know.
Well, what's nice about that is the enormity of building a cabin it wasn't right there in your face, right?
Yeah.
Like you just, okay, this is what I start with. Okay. And then this is the next thing. All right. And then this is the next thing. And then after, okay. And the next thing. Okay. And the next thing. Okay. Suddenly you've got walls up. Whereas if you're standing there with a few bags of concrete and you think, oh my God, I've got 400 steps ahead of me, it can be a hell of a lot harder. This is what stops me from getting started on things all the time. It's like, oh God, I have to start with math. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I got to do measurements, figure out how the hell, 3 5/8 of an inch, 3 5/8 inches, find the center. Oh God, and expand that outwards to like all the steps that you see. And that's why I'm a great proponent, whether it's making a shelter or setting up camp or building something for around the house or anything. Chunk it out. Right. What do I have to do right now? Slice it off. What I have to do right now is get my tinder and my kindling together. What do I have to do now? Make a fire. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, baby steps. Because I'm the type who get really frozen by the enormity of what's ahead of me. Really fast.
I struggle with that every day. Every day.
Here, have some of mine. It's better living through chemistry.
Yeah. I'd like to point out that Linda said, I'm done buying stuff except camera stuff.
It's me with my airsoft habit.
You're kind of never done buying gear, camera gear, tripods. Yeah,
it's true. It's true. I have a to buy list. I mean, it's a very slow to buy list for obvious reasons, but I do have like sort of a planned. I wanted to show you something that Outdoor Dauber said. There it is. The real question is, do you link your own sausages? No, I do not link my own sausages.
As in, like, buy casings and stuff them and then twist them myself?
Yeah,
I've done it once. I just don't like sausage that much.
You know?
Well, when I get a deer, like, I'd rather have steaks and jerky.
Yeah, but there's all kinds of parts of that deer that don't go into steaks and jerky. I mean, we don't really want to talk too hard about that because I like
turn in burger, man. Turn into burger.
Yeah. Country boy grew up like you. 20 acres of dense forest and was building shelters and sleeping outdoors since you were 10. Oh, it sounds amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Bettina, country boy. Bettina again. Oh, Bettina grew up in the country, had 2 acres with hundreds of acres of farm, fields, and forest behind. I have never camped out anywhere. What I would like to do if I ever get the money together for a thing is I don't need to buy 400 hectares, or they're hectares these days, right? If I can get just like a small chunk of land that backs onto crown land, that's fine. That's fine for me. You know,
I tell people about that. People want 100 acres, like, or, almost 200 acres, like what I have, and I say, just you can't afford it. Just look for a hunting property. Like a hunting property could be like a 1 acre property, but with hundreds of acres of crown land, you just got to avoid it for 2 weeks in November.
Absolutely. Hey, looks like somebody gave me a. Oh, thanks, Russell. Thank you very much. More money towards the new video editing computer.
Yay!
Woo!
I still can't believe you use your phone for video editing. That's got to stop.
I know. Believe me, I do.
Yes.
I know. Bettina. Oh, I've already said that. Okay, sorry. Dauber says, expanded rules of 3. 3 seconds without hope, 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. I love that first one, the 3 seconds without hope, because nobody thinks of that.
That's the first time I've heard that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that, and I'm gonna use that in conversation at some point.
It's a quote from "So I Married an Axe Murderer." Dauber. That's what he said. It's lower on in the chat.
Oh, I see it. Okay. Bettina apparently just got a generic GoPro camera. That's cool. I bought one for Camille, and one of her friends shattered it while visiting. Great.
Certainly in that.
I love this. Look what Russell put.
We try to save Jess.
Mark walks in with, what happens for 2 weeks in November? Hunting season? Yes, it sure does.
Yeah, unfortunately our hunting season goes well into January. They just kind of like butt up into each other.
It's kind of the same. Well, I mean, October and November kind of thing, but
hunting season is like October through to the end of December, I think.
Yeah.
But that includes muzzleloader and includes bow hunting. It's really the first 2. Well, around here, it's the first 2. It's hunting, or sorry, rifle hunting season. That's when like thousands of
guys, descend on the woods.
You got to avoid it.
Yeah, absolutely. Bettina's going to shamelessly plug the fact that I posted a new video that has hardly any videos. So if the 19 people here,
Bettina, I will totally link one of my videos instead, if you don't mind.
You bastard!
That is so Bradley.
The hellish attitude on this man.
Russell is like the king of don't give a funk.
Russell, the deepest circle of hell is reserved for betrayers and treacherers, good sir.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe we can put a link to Bettina's latest video up.
I got it.
All right. Good man.
What the heck is up with that thumbnail? Bettina, we're going to have a talk. No, I want the pew-pew. I want the pew-pew. Bettina, I'm putting the link here. I'm going to even link it as minutes here.
Sure, David. Why not? You can link your video too. Just for those of you who might want to click on those videos, and then pause them until later, right-click on them and open in a new tab. Otherwise, you will leave my happy little live stream, and then I will be hurt, unhappy, maybe a little angry, definitely salty, but mostly just hurt.
Hold on. Mark's got a good point here.
Yeah, that's so true.
I'll be like,
I can just imagine
it.
there's
It was worth it.
Satan like, oh my god, and there's Russell. Excuse me.
You know, at some point, I'd even convinced myself that we were gentlemen.
Just keep telling yourself the lie. Now, here's an
Who
interesting
were you
thing.
with when you? Who were you with when you said that?
Definitely not with you and me. But we should really try. We should try harder. I'm gonna try harder.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
Like,
So,
crap.
okay, let's expand that conversation out a little bit then, because like, you've made bows, you've made some not mucklucks, but moccasins. But if someone in the side chat here was to want to that doesn't grammatically make sense, does it? If anyone in the side chat decided that they would like to start DIYing stuff, if they asked me, I'd say start with tent pegs, right? But do you think that there's something else to start with? Because I think that if someone wanted to try starting down the DIY journey, it's all about not taking on something that will frustrate you and discourage you, right? That's why I would say start with tent pegs, dead easy. All you need is an axe, or maybe a knife. No, Russell disagrees.
No, because you gotta like actually put up a tent. You know, here's the single best
Okay.
thing you can do if you want to practice, and most people can do this in their backyard, is build a fire.
Mm-hmm.
Building a fire is actually takes some skill into building what if you're doing a log house, building it properly, getting the right thing in there. And
Okay, so to you, the DIY journey starts with building the proper fire.
I don't know about the proper fire. Just start with building a fire.
I've been making for a long time. I'm trying to think of the first thing I did that was like, in that same vein, here's what I think. If you want to start DIYing, think of something that you want that you think would just be fun to make, because that's how I started. Everything that I make, I can think of like, oh, that would be fun to make. So I figure out how to make it, and eventually, all of your mistakes and those skills just stack into mistakes that look better and better. And sooner or later, you are capable of making things that you want that are pretty good. Like this, I 3D printed this. I taught myself how to do fusion and did 3D printing, but this is several hundred iterations later.
Yeah.
This is pick rail.
Yeah.
This is just a foregrip for an airsoft gun, but I had to make a pick rail, so I knew the dimensions. So I grabbed a pick rail file. This is rubberized PLA. This was originally gray on the inside, but yeah. I learned how to rubberize things, and the skills stack over time. So just make something that you want.
I was about to ask you something, but David Evans' question is actually better. So I'll ask you my question later. If someone is new to camping, should they DIY or go store-bought?
Store-bought. Wholeheartedly.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I think so as well, in terms of having quality gear around. But there's a lot of crap gear out there as well, right? So I'm a great proponent of save up for the extra month. Buy once, cry once.
Go to REI. Have someone fit you for things. Like, someone who knows what they're doing has done this and has a vested interest in making sure you have a good time. Yet.
Don't start off buying the $300 thing instead of the $100 thing. Right? Like if there's a $50 that's going to fall apart in a year, $100 that's good quality, good enough to get you started, and then there's $300, which is like the carbon fiber magic item. Don't do that $300 one. Russell isn't agreeing with me at all, though.
I'm gonna disagree. Your very first time, you want to go out with somebody who's done it a bunch and already has good gear, because you don't know if you're gonna like it, you're gonna enjoy it. There's
Right.
no sense in buying anything until if you're gonna want to do it in the future. And by the way, anybody who there's 16 people watching. I can't believe that 16 people have never been camping. But anyway, I was like, the very first time, it should be awesome.
Mhm.
Don't go in May when the black flies are out. Don't go in July or August when the deer flies and mosquitoes are out. Go in September, October, at least in Canada here. Go in September, October to a beautiful location on a lake, preferably not a car camping place, but an actual place like in the Kawarthas. Where you get a real campsite and it's like beautiful and serene and all that, and go with somebody.
Yeah,
who can
true.
do it.
If you can use someone else's gear and skills your first time before you're absolutely sold on the concept, that's definitely a good idea. Thing is, like, you also don't want to, like, I talk about this a lot about camera gear, and I mean, I'm not going to bore you all with my whole TV 2.0 philosophy or anything, but it's important that if you go your first time with someone who's got a lot of high-end gear and the experience is fantabulous, that you don't feel that you need the $300 item instead of the $100 item, moving forward.
That's a better question for me. Is you've done the thing with the experienced camper, you've had a great time, you want to try it on your own. Now, what should you buy? That's probably a better question. But I don't think you need amazing gear to have a good time in the woods.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. And in fact, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I might not have as much nice gear as I have, because everything I buy these days is something that I'm planning to do an episode on. Like, is this worth the extra money kind of thing? And so everything I buy is just a little more expensive than I would normally do, and that's just,
I bought the external sheathing on my cabin was supposed to be the vinyl khaki green crap, and I made the decision because of the fact I have a YouTube channel that would look like shit, and I should buy this expensive pine and stain it, and the pine
looks so nice,
amazing, but it was such a huge extra expense on top of all that vinyl that I already purchased. It's already sitting out here.
Oh, you've already got the vinyl. Oops.
Yeah, I bought it a long time ago.
So it's just getting sun bleached. But like, okay, so I mean, because you built your cabin, we're gonna call that as a DIY subject here. Why did you go for a framework cabin like that instead of logs? Is it just because you didn't have the logs on your?
Several reasons, actually. One is because I have zero faith in my ability to actually build a log cabin. Like I'd seen the Dick Prenicky videos. I saw the work that went into all that shit, and I was like, hell no, there's no way I could possibly do that. Second is there aren't a lot of mature trees around here that would be easy to bring to the site. I mean, personally, because there's so many beaver ponds around, so many waterways, so many big rock hills that you just can't get around or over, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's no chance of that. And the third reason, I can't remember the third reason.
I unfortunately have to retire. I am still an engineering student and thus have many a homework to accomplish.
All right.
Goodbye.
Thanks for coming on.
See
you later.
Good seeing you.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that Bettina says she's never been slept in a tent.
She's never been slept in a tent.
What the hell? You got to get into a tent and sleep. You have to say that you've slept in. Oh, thanks, Carol. Next time you should do a super chat so you can say something fantabulous, which I will then read out. But thank you anyway.
It's funny because when super stickers came out and it was like, oh, now people can do super stickers on your channel. I was like, why would anybody do those? Because it's just some animated, sheep or something or chicken.
Mhm.
Nobody's going to do that because people want to leave an actual message, and yet people do it all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
okay,
you
fine.
know, I mean, I guess they put it there because they knew that some people were going to like it, you know. Somebody, oh yes, Cliff says, I agree with Russell. If you don't like camping with excellent gear, you're going to hate the heck out of it with shite gear. Yeah, and that makes sense. That's, that makes sense. Cozy Corner Cabin, I spend lots of time camping. I especially love camping on the IAT. The T is obviously going to be trail.
International Apple Trail.
International Apple Trail. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's cool. I've been there many times. Yeah.
Dauber says, I don't have a lot of high-end gear, but I have a lot of solid gear, Milsurp, thrift store finds, etc. And that hits on something. Like, if you're not comfortable DIYing like a paddle, I don't know why I pulled that out of the ether, but there it is. If you're not comfortable DIYing a paddle, make sure that you don't have a cheapo paddle. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, have gear that, if it's not high end or doesn't really give you the fizz, but you know it's going to keep going for the entire trip, that's good enough.
It's
You know?
it's you know what, for a beginner it's tough to know, and
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of beginners say, well, I could buy this $30 paddle or I could buy this $300 paddle. I don't know the difference between them. They're both made of wood, but I guess I could buy the $300 one because it's $300, right?
Yep. That's why I always say that if you don't have the skill to make a replacement something, then watch every YouTube and read everything you find about the thing you're looking at before making the purchase. I make my purchases very slowly. If it's something that costs like around $1,000 or up, I spend a long time researching and I hone in on exactly what I want and then I buy it.
Cheers to YouTube for helping us out with stuff like that, because in the old days, you had to rely on the salesperson selling you something.
Salesperson or a review in a magazine. But of course the magazines are all dependent on the advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked in magazines for a long time. I will never trust a magazine review.
There's Ron. Is that the Ron? Hey, Ron. Is it the Ron I know, or is that a different Ron?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen Ron show up in the side chat before. Hi there, Sam. But Ron does say something interesting, especially if you're at the beginning of your journey. Buying used gear is an excellent way to get some great stuff without blowing the bank. Because you don't have warranties. But...
like me, lots of boneheads like me who go out in there and buy something fancy, expensive, because we felt we needed it to further our journey.
Yeah.
And then said, oh, well, I guess maybe not. This sucks.
Yeah, and I've made expensive mistakes like that before too. David says, I've always used middle of the road gear and never had any issues. And that's probably the safest place to be, straight up. That's why I keep sort of saying, if there's a $50 one, a $100 one, and a $300 one, chances are the $100 one is going to get you what you need. It just might not be carbon fiber. It might be you know what I'm saying?
It's sad that you have to go on price for that.
Yep, absolutely.
But
yeah, just taking a look here. Country boy trapped in the city, same. Nothing top of the line, but decent stuff that does what I need. Doesn't have to be expensive to work. And between like what Country Boy and Dauber and Ron are saying, like, oh, okay, Cozy Corner Comment says it's the International Appalachian Trail. I didn't know that it was. I just thought it was called the Appalachian Trail.
that was close. Appalachian Apple.
Cozy, are you a through hiker? Did you do the whole thing? Linda says Warner bent paddle, so we know what Werner. So we know what paddle she's got. Country boy agonizes over purchases of $50. Oh, he's Scottish. So, yeah, I had a Scottish grandmother. I know where you're going. Yeah, David, it's like Russell was saying, go with borrowed gear your first time to see if you like what you're doing first. But I kind of feel that excuse me. I kind of feel that as someone who calls himself a bushcrafter, I should have more DIY gear. Like all my DIY stuff is essentially axes that I've restored, or that knife. I should do a trip where I go into the woods without something important. And you might, it's tempting to say, well, have it there as backup and just pretend that you don't have it. No. I should go into the woods without tent pegs. It's like I either make the tent pegs or I'm going to end up getting really soaked. Like that's what I should do. I should do a series of camps. Like, I don't know if this is really interesting enough to do a series of videos on, because that would be like a 5-minute video. Oh, I came to camp without pegs. I'm going to have to make some. There's a YouTube short. But I should do something like that. I should force myself to have to DIY a tripod to hang my pot from. Excuse me. Dauber, are you still keeping count? Something like that. I don't mean like, oh, I'm going canoe camping and I don't have a canoe, so I have to build one here. No, but something real simple. Start simple, like a tent pegs, tripod for hanging your pot from, stuff like that. That's what I should do. If I'm ever in the woods again. Canoe Hound is just letting me know that he's still here. A bunch of us will do that. We'll be listening to someone else's to someone else's live stream, and we'll occasionally drop a period or an asterisk just to show the person who's streaming that we are in fact still listening. So thanks for that, Dennis. Linda, Mark likes Werner paddles as well. Are they like fiberglass, or are they wooden? Or are they plastic or wooden? Mark, you have 4 of those Werner paddles. Yes, Dauber is keeping track of how often I yawn.
I love that idea.
Which idea?
I go out into the bush and I forget my, tent or something.
Yep.
And it's not a 5-minute video either. It's a 20-30-minute video of not just I forgot my tent and here's what I did about it, but it's got all the scenery of you heading out into the bush. It's got all the regular day or 2 or 3 in the bush. It's just that the
start is
I'm thinking of the terms in terms of a movie. Like this is the oh shit, I can't think.
Act 1 is overcoming the obstacle of having forgotten your tent.
No. Act 1 is I forgot my tent. Act 2 is the obstacle.
Okay. Then
Act 3 is the sunset. Let's go fishing. Let's
I just want to say hi.
Why do I have 2 beers?
Double fisting. I just want to say hi to Colin. Congratulations on recently becoming monetized.
Coleman blow.
That never gets old, does it, Russell?
Never gets old.
Okay. Actually, Dauber has made flint strikers from old file. Hey, Dauber, didn't you make a Tontalduas? I have like the stuff together to make one of those. I just haven't made it yet. Like I went and bought a big honking length of brass pipe and stuff. I want to make a Tontalduas. But yeah, I think you made one, didn't you? Or am I remembering that wrong? Oh, Cliff is in the process of restoring a 1962 Coleman lantern. I love it. I love it. No, David, this isn't what we were. I mean, that's a whole different kind of video.
I'm heading out to the bush. Oh no, I forgot my clothes. Whatever will I do?
It's like that show. Was it Naked Alone? No, Naked and Afraid. Remember that show that they had on cable? You know, silliness.
All I can think of is a Queen song.
Sharon says we used to do outback camping before we bought land. I kind of feel like I should have read that with an Australian accent. Fox, it needs a few pieces. Dude, isn't like eBay gonna sort you out on that? eBay or Kijiji or something like that.
Yeah, Bettina, there's zero chance we'll be here when you get back. But good luck. Have fun.
Have fun storming the castle. You think it would work? It would take a miracle. Oh, God. Okay, for extra points, who knows which film I just quoted?
That sounds like... Oh, can I guess? Or
Yeah, sure.
have fun storming the castle. That's Princess Bride.
Yes, sir. One of the finest movies ever made.
Mm-hmm. God, I love that movie.
Me too. I've seen it many times. I played a role having Mr. Werner Sr. make an even better set of paddles. Maybe I'll take a look at them.
Jess, if you ever come out here for like a bushcraft like weekend or a few days or whatever, you need another trip out here just so we can sit around and watch movies for a couple of days.
Yeah, it's true. The Country Boy says to take a tarp and some cordage. You can build a pretty sweet tent if you try a few configurations. Yeah, that's true. And I have a nice 10x10 tarp by Aqua Quest. It's a very nice tarp. I threw a couple of holes in it with embers from a fire, but that's okay. I'm going to do an episode on repairing that at some point when I remember to repair that. But I think that the 10x10 tarp is the pinnacle of useful tarpage in terms of portability and the number of shelters you can make. There are some things you can do better with a non-square one, but to me, 10x10 is great. It's both wicked and awesome.
Wow, that's something.
Both wicked and awesome.
Wait, wicked in the... Okay.
In the great.
Continue. Go ahead.
Yes. Hold on. I'm just catching up. We're heading out to the hot tub. Yeah, we ain't going to be here, but that's all right.
Yeah, we're not.
Showed up early.
In the hot tub and
yeah. In the hot tub.
It's hot. In the hot tub. It's hot.
What did I just quote that time?
Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
Eddie Murphy doing James Brown.
Doing James Brown,
Excuse me.
Yeah, okay, so Dauber did make a few tonto doers. I'm going to make one this year, Dauber. I may fire you some questions. Okay, everyone's just saying bye to Bettina. And still saying hi to Colin. Oh, Colin was bow hunting and his bowstring snapped, and he forgot his spare. So, what do you do in that case? Can you DIY something, or were you just kind of, screwed? In the hot tub. Okay, so people are, Princess Bride, nice. SV says, I've collected stuff since I was a young kid. My dad and granddad and great-granddad were all outdoorsmen, but I have very little of theirs. It's funny, I have very little of my dad's or granddad's stuff as well. Not a lot of outdoorsy men in my family. I mean, under 100 years ago. But in my spoon carving kit, I have a few First Nations tools that I got from my dad because he used to carve under a pretty damn big name West Coast native carver. So he sent me the ads that I use for spoons and a couple of native style carving knives. And I have his grandfather's what do you call it? Marking bevel gauge, not bevel gauge, marking gauge, which is very nice. Nice old wooden marking gauge. That's about
So
it.
have you received the new items you purchased?
Yeah, I did. They're in the back room. I'm gonna do a whole video.
Okay.
I have a video going up this Friday that is not a brand new video, but it's an improvement on an old one. But then I'm going to do a whole video on those, and because I haven't actually taken them out of the packet yet.
So there's a hair on my screen. I've been trying to get rid of her for
I see. Okay, I'm like
4 hours.
wicka, wicka.
If there wasn't lag between us, I would be right in there.
It would be all like,
My name is Russell. I got the muscle. I'm a really cool dude when I'm in the mood. I got the style when I'm between the sheets. And then I get drunk and I shit myself.
You're pretty fly for a white guy.
God, that went south really fast.
So fast. Sam Jackson likes my microphone. Thank you. Thank you. It cost the moon, but my wife bought it, so I'm not bankrupted by it. Wait a minute. What's going on here, guys? Okay, so Colin can make a new bowstring, but it takes time and materials. I guess I don't know if you have to braid them. No, not Bill Reed. Bill Reed was already dead. Bill Reed is probably my favorite West Coast artist. My favorite First Nations art style is specifically Haida. There's just something about it that really, really gets me where I live. But yeah, my dad carved under Norman Tate, who was sort of not the same level as Bill Reed because nobody is, but yeah, he was pretty up there. May he rest in the peace. Hey, whoa. We're all about DIY here tonight, Dauber. That's what we're talking about. And if Russell and I are DIYing a little rap, a little hip to the, never mind. Just bushcraft
Hip to the
rapping.
hop.
Yes, they are braided. Yeah. I would love to do a bushcraft hip hop number one day. I even have some notes.
Okay, let's talk.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I need to do a special feature or two. So I'm trying to think of stuff.
Okay. You can go solo if you want. I was gonna say.
No, I don't know. I'm not. I have no concept other than a bushcraft hip hop number has to happen. That's as far as my concept goes.
Have you got the music yet, or are you just working on lyrics?
Just working on lyrics. I have music concept, but Simon is out. All right.
Good day, Simon.
It
was good to see you, Simon.
Yeah. Good old Simon.
Okay, so were you thinking? So this bushcraft song, tongue in cheek, comic? You pretty much have to do it comedic.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no way you can do that serious.
Yeah, it might be hard to do that serious. I don't know. All I've got is like this idea that it needs to happen in a few notes. That's it.
You know what? Weird Al's white and nerdy. I mean, that's how you got to take it.
Right. I love it. God, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. What the hell is Weird Al doing nowadays?
I think he's done incredibly well. He's probably still touring and playing all his hits.
Oh.
He's like the god of his craft.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got
And
a very unique niche, and he
hats off to him.
Yeah,
Hats off to him.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, my buddy Ray says he's a great singer. I'm like, he can't sing worth shit. He's just really talented at doing what he does.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got yeah. It's funny like how the music industry is so homogenizing, but yet every now and again someone just sort of goes pop like that. Like there's just someone him Richard Cheese is also kind of like, how is this guy finding success? But he does. Grace says that Weird Al is doing a show where she lives in August.
Are you going to see him, Grace?
Linda's asking, David, what's your channel called?
TLC.
You can drop that into. I used to love TLC. I thought
David,
they were great.
Oh yeah, David, you're moderator here. You can.
It's funny, like none of the
Time-
mods. Oh
I'm still here.
no,
Okay.
they don't show up as mods in StreamYard. They only show up as mods on YouTube. That's why I've been asking, like, where the hell are my mods? I know you guys are mods.
You're
But
right.
it's because they're showing up right here.
That's kind of dumb, isn't it?
So dumb. Well,
It's like it must be easy. Technically.
I think it's because you set mods in YouTube rather than StreamYard. Right? I don't really remember.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's picked up like members of your club or your membership.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't speak.
Don't speak. Not gonna do it. I'm not gonna break into song. That's not what I do. That's not what I do. It's not my thing. It's like a Mal thing. She breaks into song. I love it. I'm a survivor. I built a fire.
Oh yeah, that was part of it, right? That's part of it.
That's not even mine. That's something that my fiddlers used to have this roommate, and they would always make up. I met my fiddler. We were working for an operetta society here in Montreal that specializes in Gilbert and Sullivan, and operetta societies that do Gilbert and Sullivan always rewrite little chunks, because even Gilbert and Sullivan rewrote little chunks for to keep them up to date in terms of current events, and so that's part of the tradition. And so like Peter was always involved in sort of the rewriting of certain parts, like we're going to rewrite this line kind of thing. And so there's all kinds of little snippets of stuff like that always floating around in his house.
You know what, you've put me on something new. I mean, I've done lots of musical videos where I just kind of rewrite the lyrics for one song, but what you're suggesting is I could do a whole musical, rewrite the lyrics for the whole thing.
You could. That would be nuts. But yeah, you could.
It would definitely be nuts, but it would be interesting and fun, possibly fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, David put his channel in the side chat. Nice.
Twilight Life Cabin. See, TLC.
Yeah. Do you ever abbreviate the name of your channel? Do you have like a set of, like, I often do RDB. Yeah.
No, RROFC. No,
RROFC.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. OG. OGC. Can't
RROG.
can't think with brain.
Can't think.
RROGC.
I love it.
Got a bit of a-
Good night, Crazy Corner. Good night, Steve. Russell has nothing but time. He could pull it off.
What, rewriting a musical? Can you imagine taking something like Phantom of the Opera and rewriting it as a comedy?
Yeah, that would be amazing. I wonder what you could. I wonder how you'd do it.
I could do it all. I'm sure I could do it all.
Yeah, you probably could. There's gonna be like the most epic of special features by next month or something, right?
The problem would be like tying each song together into a cohesive story, because that's what Phantom of the Opera is.
Yep.
That would be really difficult.
Holy crap,
Each
Sam! I don't believe anyone else knows about that. Have you seen that, Russell? Phantom of the Paradise?
No, don't know what you're talking about.
B grade film. B grade.
Is it based on the musical?
It's sort of a B grade sort of rip off of Phantom of the Opera.
Using the same music?
Yeah. No, not really.
No.
David is already making suggestions for you. No, it's not porn. It's not porn. Fathom of the Off-Grid Cabin. Are you looking it up?
1974, does that sound right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I went through a phase where I watched a lot of B movies. You know, like I saw Mutant on the Bounty, and you know, the Toxic Avenger, and all that stuff. But yeah, so it's not like it's a takeoff on Phantom of the Opera, but it doesn't use all the same music or any of the same music.
Okay.
But yeah, it was kind of a comedy.
Phantom of the Books Fest would be closer.
Phantom of the Books Fest would definitely be closer syllabically. Absolutely.
Yes.
Good night, Dennis.
Good night, Dennis.
Have a good sleep. We're at 11:08. So we'll go to 11:15 just to sort of cut it off on not a round number,
Surely.
but you know, the stuffs. All right. Good night, Mark. Getting tired myself.
Wow, Phantom of the Paradise is ranked very highly on IMDb.
Is it?
Yeah, 7.3.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah,
pretty good.
I should watch it again. I don't know where the hell I'd even see it. David Evans says Paul Williams was always a scary dude. That's the guy who did the music. I think, if I remember correctly.
Interesting.
Yeah. Good old tea. Such a good drink. Just taking a look at what we're missing here. No, we're good. We're caught up.
Fathom might be a deeper topic. Nicely done.
Well played.
Nicely done.
I missed that completely.
I did too. Until wait, who pointed it out?
Country Boy, Trapped in the City.
Oh, Scott pointed it out. Way to go, buddy.
Yeah, I totally missed it. So good.
Welcome to Tuesday night.
Yeah, welcome to Tues Fest.
Tues Fest. Tues Fest with Jess.
I used to call this series the Beer Blades and Bushcraft live stream series, but then I stopped drinking beer, so it didn't feel right. But actually, you drink the beer, so I should probably just go back to calling it Beer Blades and Bushcraft live stream.
Well, I don't feel that I should automatically be a thing on all of your live streams. I mean, I am, but I don't feel that it.
Yeah, no, I'm just being a brat. But I just want to bring back a name like that. Except, like some of the people in the side chat are having beer. So maybe, I mean, booze, blades, and bushcraft. No. Beer, blades, and bushcraft, it rolls better. I'll just bring that name back anyway, I think.
I Book's beer and Book's blades and bushcraft, but you can't do that.
No, I'll probably just set it back to Beer Blades and Bushcraft live stream series, and I have my unnamed interview series.
When's that gonna happen?
I don't know. When I get back into a better headspace and I have the energy to hustle it.
You mean when your kids are like 18 and are leaving home for university?
And I'm cruising in on 70? No.
Oh my God. How old would you be then? Jesus.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to be 50 in May, on May 21st. And I have a 3-year-old right now.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, dude, I've done the math. I'm trying to figure out when the heck,
yeah, we've done this math before. I have a grandchild just a year younger than your youngest kid.
Yeah, amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
No. It won't. We're getting a little off topic if we haven't already been tonight. But
well, we DIY'd the children, right? Bit of a stretch there. Am I reaching?
I was gonna say your youngest kid doesn't have to be leaving home before you can get out in the bush and do stuff.
No, absolutely no. Yeah, that's just bombast on my part.
Or before we can make Phantom of the Books Fest.
The Phantom of the Book Fest is. We'd have to massage the syllables a bit. If Country Boy says
the cadence has to match. Sorry.
Exactly. The cadence absolutely has to match. That's the problem. Country Boy is always having beer and some soju. So Country Boy is well supplied.
Soju is what? Japanese wine? What is soju?
I think soju is Chinese, isn't it? I've
Chinese
never had
wine?
it. I've never had it.
David Evans.
It's of Korean origin.
Nice.
Soju is a clear, colorless, distilled alcoholic beverage of Korean origin. It is usually consumed neat, and its alcohol content varies from about 12.9 to 53% alcohol by volume. Most brands are made in South Korea. Good to know.
What is it? Wine? Whiskey? What is it?
I think it's like a liquor. Oh, David Evans, thanks for the I love it for the Jess I Can Never Retire Fund. What is with you guys? It's geriatric bushcraft from Country Boy. What? I'm still young at heart. Come on, guys.
Guys, I'm going out in the bush.
I tell you, young whippersnapper.
I'm going to show you how to make a fire.
I'm gonna pop you one. My pugilistic skills.
Oh my God! I forgot everything. I even forgot the camera. I'm talking to a tree right now. Holy shit!
I lost my teeth. Where the heck are my teeth? See,
That'll
those
be
of you who wait
like,
till the very end of the live stream, this
here's
is the
how you
kind of
steal. Here's how you steal another person's fake teeth in an old folks' home. I'm going down the hallway now. I'm looking in people's rooms. There's one right over there. I'm gonna hunt that set of teeth down. It's in a glass of water right now.
it's like a geriatric bubbles. I'm looking for
Oh,
kitties.
Shit, you're right. That was the bubbles.
Trying to steal some teeth, but there's just kitties everywhere.
Julian, I see some teeth over there, Julian. Oh, we're gonna steal those teeth right now.
All right. We are at
It's gonna-
DIY Bushcraft Walker. I love it. Amazing. All right. We are actually at 11:15 now. So maybe we'll shut her down for the week. So between now and next week, well, first of all, thank you for hanging out with me. And
Be safe.
Russell.
Wear condoms. Drink large. Pour your alcohol in shot glasses. Don't take any wooden nickels. Don't trust any three-legged strippers.
That's not how it goes, Russell.
I was improvising.
I'll show you how it's done.
I was improvising, Julian.
Between now and next week, everyone, please. Between now and next week, be safe, be healthy, be sane, and be kind to one another. Good night, everyone.
Peace out.